It's not bad. You know, New York is nasty, and you're always walking in it. So here, you know, I get in my car, and it's not bad. So when we moved here, really just began falling in love with the waterfront. You know, with Lake Michigan, the riverfront is such a special place. It's such an amenity for this community, and it's really a gem of an area. And so as you know, we got settled in here. My background is in private equity real estate, looking at investments across the country, and I stepped away from that role to look for kind of opportunities here locally to get involved in business and real estate investment. And so this is kind of one of those opportunities that I'm working on. So when we think about the riverfront, just a couple of guiding beliefs just in all the projects that we want to do. There's a couple that I'll talk about. But a distinct sense of place really creates a greater sense of belonging. And this is all about building connection and identity. And you know, you walk on that riverfront and there is a sense of place there, and we want to help cultivate that. To a variety of high-quality experiences fosters a more engaged in community, increasing fulfillment, and it's really about inspiring people to come back to that neighborhood. So we want to add to the story, add to the variety of experience on the riverfront as well. And then thoughtful community design and profitability can coexist, and it can create both beautiful spaces and viable businesses. So in everything we do as well, through Dockyard, through other things that I'll get into, we want to make sure we're very mindful of balancing both, you know, profitability and design. We don't want to just build for the cheapest, do the cheapest thing we can. We want to make sure that the riverfront is really shepherded, and you know, design is a high piece of that. So what's working well right now down there, you know, there's natural beauty. There's existing infrastructure, a lot of investments gone on into the riverfront. There's a lot of local community pride, obviously, and there's focus on family tourism. Blue Harbor does that really well, bringing in families. There's you know, mini golf, there's arcade, the bounce house, right? So family tourism is really an emphasis down there. What isn't working well, and that we'd hope to be able to work on as a piece of the community, lack of walkability and sense of place. That's something that you know, we want to help encourage, and in adding to the establishments down there on the boardwalk, you know, thinking about making sure walkability is a high priority. There's a limited variety of retail shops, excuse me, F&B and entertainment year round. So year round is a focus right now. A lot of the emphasis is in the summertime, and we want to be able to just make sure there's an option there for families, the community to come in year round. And then lastly, a small full-time population. So there is housing down there, but you know, it's one of the priorities, I believe, of the city, and also through some of the other parcels that I'm now in ownership of, to think about how to bring a more full-time population down on the riverfront. And you could skip this slide just for sake of time. Probably made it a little too long. So here, you know, parcels 1 and 2, this is the Pier 17 site, and also the kind of land site on Pennsylvania Avenue. I am now part of the ownership there as of a few months ago, and we are really in initial planning phases and thinking about what to do with those sites, thinking mixed use, you know, higher density. And so those are all, you know, in planning, and we're thinking about what the right fit is for the community, what the right use is, and what's also just viable from an economic perspective. And that brings us to the third parcel, which is the parcel I'm here to talk about today for this Dockyard concept, which is to bring in kind of an entertainment, a community entertainment concept. And you know, we're requesting exclusive right to negotiate with the RDA. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Keep the door open even though you have noise. You are part owner of, you can webcast that.
Yes.
Pieces
Yep.
1 and 2.
That's right. Yep. So I purchased into those parcels. There was another owner
Yes.
that sold their stake to me, And so now I'm 50% owner in those two pieces.
I will say that those parcels are not under redevelopment authority. We are just here to talk about parcel 3 today.
Yep. And really the only reason I bring it up is just to show that, you know, I'm very invested in this area. And yeah, I'm committed. I think that this can serve a lot of the city's needs in bringing more housing, in bringing more businesses to the riverfront, in bringing more entertainment, food and beverage. And so not only, you know, are we working on those two pieces, but I'm here to talk about Dockyard on the RDA owned property on the south here.
Most of our conversation was today just about the exclusivity and not necessarily about power.
Correct. Whether or not this, if you recall, this is the piece of property that we had already granted a 6-month extension. Well, exactly. And that has now expired. And Ray is asking for what, another 6 months?
That's right, yep, 6 months. Not another, but an
An
initial
initial
fee, yes.
6 months
Yeah.
for him.
Yep.
And it would be the second 6 months for us, but different development.
So once we get into the actual project itself, then we can ask
Other questions?
how it's related to.
Exactly. Okay. Other thoughts, comments from the committee?
I say let's have Ricky. Go ahead.
Pardon me?
I think Dean had a question.
Question of, actually, it's up to Kevin, actually. As far as the bridge itself, is that, would that, is anything on that property, anything with the bridge, is that, would that have any, concern?
So the issue is there's planned pedestrian.
I'll speak to that. So the question today is whether we want to offer an exclusive right to negotiate on this property. Once we get to site plan review, development of the property, then we can start considering, or then it would be an appropriate time to start considering how the layout may or may not impact the pedestrian bridge plan. Right now it's just basically saying, do we want to move into step 1 with Ray?
Right. So, Chair will entertain a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to grant Ray a 6-month exclusive right to negotiate. Any other thoughts, comments, questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Great. All right, thanks so much.
You're not, thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm glad you think so, yeah.
It's exciting.
Well, it's good to meet everyone, and I'll be
See you
talking
again.
to you shortly. All right.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Yep.
Okay. Number 8, request by the City of Sheboygan Public Works Engineering Division to use RDA land for a new storage building. Gentlemen, tell us what this is about and where it is.
So the parcel or parcels we are looking at, the property itself is made up of 6 parcels, individual parcels right now. It has been a parking lot for as long as I have been informed, not under really any city control. There's been no permit, no fees for the use of this lot. My understanding is really nobody knew it was even city-owned property, RDA-owned property. But it's been mostly used by a couple commercial businesses on the north side of an alley and then to the east. It also has housed, when the softball fields are in use and they have tournaments, it allows for parking. Why we looked at this amongst other parcels is that right now we have approximately anywhere between $1 million and $1.25 million worth of equipment and material that sits outside on the lawn. For 2 reasons. One, access to that equipment after it snows and weather events, having to take time to clear it out. That means there's less manpower out on the streets doing whatever we need done. Plus, everything deteriorates over time, whether it be manhole covers, signs, barricades, whatever. What we can't have enough room for under a roof sits outside, and it's also some vehicle equipment as well. So, in looking at this and discussing it with staff, We're bound by our site right now. We have a handful of smaller exterior standalone buildings on the north side of DPW. Some of them are kind of dilapidated, not really weatherproof, or they're not going to survive too much longer. So we looked at this, and when I found out that this was city RDA property, I thought, well, this is perfect. It's right across, basically just south of New Jersey from MSB, so it's literally within walking distance. It's very convenient. It has the right total area. It's just shy of 1 acre, so there's no real stormwater management requirement that we would have to do. So there wouldn't be any added cost. Every other property we looked at, there would be added cost, i.e. purchasing residences, relocating residents, either that or the property just isn't large enough to service our need. So what we have is the layout, the dashed line layout is the size of the building we're looking at. This is the property boundary of all 6 parcels. The dashed line is the area. It's a 2,600 square feet building. And what's that?
26,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, 26,000 square foot building. Just cold storage. There's no intent on having heat or anything like that right now. We already, I know with planning sustainability, we looked at solar on this. I reached out to Arch Solar, who's a contractor throughout Wisconsin that specializes in this. And they said it wouldn't even be cost effective. There would be no return on the investment on solar panels on the roof. So we already looked at that. What we would do is likely, not that it would be mandated, but we would likely look at doing some kind of rain garden on the south side here to make it a little more attractive, help with the water retention. So that's really about it. Where is it? If you scroll up, the building is just conceptual.
You're just going to use the mouse pad, 2 fingers, and scroll up.
2 fingers.
Not working? Okay, there we go. So this shows you the 6 parcels. And then as you go up, this is just an initial contractor. When this first came up, this was an idea. We reached out to someone we knew in the industry, and they just kind of put together based upon what we were looking for, what they think would serve our needs best. So just to give you an idea of what we're looking for. As far as the finish, Kevin, what was the finish on that building again?
It was brick to 4 feet high, I can't think what it's
Like a
called.
wainscot,
Yeah,
like a
wainscot.
fascia.
Yeah.
So does the
Fascia.
planning commission get involved with this at all?
Correct,
yeah.
So moving forward, they would have to go.
So they're gonna vet all the rest of this?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Really, I guess our question should be more
We're gonna
about
punt Steve.
alternative use and whether, not having the parking lot for the baseball people or, so that analysis of where these people go if they don't have the surface parking.
Well, let me, what I can say is, to answer your question about the softball, we just redid and extended a parking lot on the north side.
Is that adequate for what they need?
For the ballpark, absolutely.
Okay.
But there's also street parking, and that's what they've also.
Yeah, I mean, it's an
done.
industrial area,
Right.
if you ever go down along the river, it's kind of a cool place on the river.
This parking lot, however, has had a lot of debris and stuff like that because nobody's really monitored it, controlled it. Right now, we have an agreement with RDA. We have it fenced in for, I don't even remember the length of that.
Brick storage.
Yes, it's right now we have all the road pavers from Commerce Street, palletized, sitting on that. We also had, like you can see in that image, we've had, there was a boat that was gotten from a delinquent person who owned the boat. That's gone now. So the idea would be is just to continue the usage. In my first conversations, I thinking that with the RDA, if that would be sale of the property to the city for this, or, you know, potentially a long 99-year lease or
So
whatever.
is this bonded plan, Commissioner?
This is not, this is before this even
Yeah,
happened,
just
we wanted to
whether
make sure
we
that
would-
we had your approval.
That's
considering
really the only
any
question. Right now, it's not on, the property itself is not on the tax rolls. If you had commercial development, the development would be on the tax rolls, right? And then this becomes now a permanent, non-tax
Non-tax.
Yes.
property.
Yes.
Correct, I will say from a development perspective, we have not had interest in this lot. This is not something that we've seen that kind of interest in.
I'm aware of this, I was aware of the.
And you say you didn't even know you owned it,
Um,
dumbass.
Yes, we did, a while back, when they were tearing up Water Street. It was, I remember the conversation in the offices about sell it to the seller. And I said, it's a developable property for manufacturing in an area that's already zoned for manufacturing. So if we, and I said, they said, we need someplace to put the bricks. And I said, lease it for however long the bricks are gonna be there. So we're getting $1 a year or whatever to lease where the bricks are. My concern is that we're taking potential developable property off the potential tax rolls. It has not been marketed. So you can't say, oh, we've never had anything, we've just never marketed it. So there's a thought.
If let's say I could comment to that briefly, just the size of this lot does not allow for a true manufacturer to come forward.
Okay.
One concern I have for that, for DPW, I know you guys probably know this too, that this is a floodplain. I mean, that area, I think within the last 10 years has flooded. I mean, because I do recall the river actually making it all the way to New Jersey Avenue at that point. So I wouldn't be concerned about it. So something would happen, something, when you do it, you're gonna wanna build it up.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that again, I think is a point of
Yeah.
question.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a polite rebuttal to your comment of it not being marketed. We have included this property in several of our development books as well. Second point I'd like to make, and this might be more of a question for Travis, Director Peterson. The city does own 4 parcels just to the west of the property. Would that be an alternate location as well?
It's too small.
Too small, okay.
So I'm sure that you guys have done your analysis. What is the criteria that you use outside of just availability? The criteria you use to say this is a good place to put your building, as opposed to, say, in the industrial park or some green space area that the city may already have.
Well, the number one thing was proximity to MSB
To-
for
to
operations right
Public
now.
Works.
Yeah, because if our staff needs to go grab a manhole or signage or, you know, one of the vehicles that may right now be parked outside, if it's underneath the roof, it's very, very close and it doesn't interrupt with our operations. If it's on an industrial park or somewhere else, now we gotta take 1 or 2 people, you know, take that time, half hour, whatever it is, and get back onto
So
our
there's an
normal
efficiency
operation.
question.
It's absolutely efficiency. Yep.
Other thoughts, other comments?
How many parcels are there? How many-
6.
6 parcels?
6 parcels total.
I'm looking at it on my GIS here, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the boat's still in the picture too, I noticed that.
It's gone now, finally.
It's
Yep.
How long has this been sitting there just as an empty parking
As
lot?
long as I can remember.
Long time?
Yeah.
I mean, even
So
longer than
that's-
Bert can
It's
remember?
longer than I can remember, it's always been here, so,
And Bert, as the fearless leader of the RDA, does our authority extend to basically giving away property to a municipality?
we usually sell it for $1 if we wanted to do that, or we can do a long-term lease. I would like to know the actual dollar amount, the marketability, because if we sell it, the dollars come back to the RDA pool. The city is not the RDA and the RDA is not the city.
That was my concern.
Yes, yes,
And our mission is to redevelop property, create jobs.
correct,
Giving away property doesn't do that.
correct.
No offense to the, and I want my snowplow not to be rusty, just so you know.
Well, I mean, everything that you're saying makes sense. I mean, comment on the floodplain, I mean, I'm familiar with that whole area, but, I mean, that you've already taken a look at. I mean, it makes total sense on where it is and the ability to get access to stuff.
And on this GIS system, it says the land value is 0. So maybe this is something we do sell for $1.
Well, it's zero probably because it's not on the tax roll.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. I would request that we get an assessed value for the property. Okay.
If I can start something real quick. I do believe, based on conversations with city administrator, that the city would be willing to purchase the parcel. And if it is the desire, I can get it, if there's a file for properties.
Perfect.
Well, Jim's got the map on. What's the next door neighbor paper line?
Now you're testing my technical.
I would have concerns on that assessment, because that most likely has a building on it. This
Well,
one,
but the
We can
land is
pull it up
land,
real
not
quick.
the improvements.
I can pull it up real quick.
And we
I got
can
it,
wait
I
for
got the
that.
improvements, I got the.
What's the land on?
Alright, so this is just right to the north, land value 48,000, improved value 258,000, total value 305. Fair market value 314.
So give or take, it's 50,000 for one of those parcels?
Just for the one to the top left.
The one to the top left.
There's a property line right here.
Yeah, there's two.
I suggest.
This is one and that's the other.
I
So that's
suggest that-
50,000? 48.
Yeah, 46 for the land.
I mean, that'll give you at least some idea.
Yeah, let Caitlin do the real numbers and get the real assessed value. And then come back and look at purchase price.
Do you have a motion to recommend that the RDA proceed with a purchase discussion and obtain an appraisal?
How
So
about
moved.
that? Somebody want to move?
All right.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Perfect. Then we'll-
Is there any urgency? I mean, is this, it's nice to have, but you don't need it by,
You're not going to
Yep.
put a shovel in the ground and.
Well, there's no way we could have a bus spring. The goal is to,
You're not gonna go build it on Friday?
come on, Peter.
no, I mean, I didn't.
No, the plan is, it's been approved by council and CIP, the funding for design and construction. So the idea would be go after design, have design back and completed this year, and probably, it would likely construct next year.
Okay, perfect. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we have the city move forward with an assessed value for that and enter discussions for sale of that property from the RDA to the city and transfer the property.
Assessed or appraised.
Appraised.
Question for you. Because I'm the chair of the Public Works Committee, do I have good ideas for staying with
A
this?
little bit louder.
Because I'm the chair of the Public Works Committee, do I have good staying with this?
No, you would not need to abstain because you're not receiving anything of personal benefit from this transaction,
Okay,
nor would anybody in your immediate family be.
okay.
Well,
Now-
just to provide direction, I mean, does anybody else, now we're just talking about price as opposed to functionality. And I guess just that the plan commission and these people are all on board and say, yep, this is not gonna go anywhere, this is a good use of the property, it's efficient. You know, so you have that blessing from those folks already?
No, he's not gonna
No.
be able to get that until he's able
So,
to
I mean,
demonstrate
it's a
control of the
catch-22. I mean, now
property.
we're theoretically saying, yeah, we got a nod here, it's just a question of price.
The Plan
But-
Commission is not concerned with marketability of a property, they're concerned that a
No,
design
the
is.
appropriate use of that property in the scope of the plan of
So,
developing a city.
yeah, the scope of that analysis would be whether this use is consistent with the parcel zoning.
Steve?
That's it?
That's it.
And the way this would work, then we'd get it appraised, they would make us an offer.
Yes.
We accept
And we
the offer, and
accept
it's
or don't.
contingent upon the usual stuff being approved. And then if it can't be approved for whatever reason, because of a floodplain or whatever, then the deal's off.
Thank you, Jim.
So
You should go into
Yes.
law.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it.
Finance
Okay.
Director has a question.
I
Yes.
just wanted to also comment that the building of this building, not necessarily this site, but this is a good site for it, was also in the 26 capital improvements program. So
Perfect.
it is a known thing by the council as well.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion on the floor to get a value and begin negotiations, and that will have to come back here for final approval. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, chair votes aye. Motion carries. Maybe you tuck your machine in tightly, it's okay. All right, thank you very much. Business loan discussion and status for the business loan for e-power manufacturing. And the chair will entertain a closed session to convene for exemption. So, legal counsel, advice and strategies regarding litigation in which it is or could be involved relating to a business loan for e-power manufacturing. It's been moved and seconded. This is a roll call.